Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Podcasting Mastered. I'm Chelsea, and I'm here with Wade as always. And on this episode, we're back at it again, talking about Hogwarts Legacy. This will probably be our last episode on Hogwarts Legacy. Not last episode ever, just last episode discussing Hogwarts Legacy.
just to be sure.
Yes. And both Wade and I have gotten the chance to play the game all the way through, and we're kind of ready to dive in and talk about everything now. So this will be a very spoiler-heavy episode, just to let all of our listeners know ahead of time. So if you don't want to be spoiled on all the nitty-gritty, then check out this episode at another time. But for those who are ready for this, we're just going to dive right in and talk all about everything else we haven't talked about with Hogwarts Legacy. So, Wade.
Yes.
We both finished this game.
Yes.
Did this game live up to all your expectations? Like, was this the game you had been hoping for?
Honestly, yes, I think so. Just to be able to, live as, a wizard and just run around and be obnoxious with magic. Yeah. That's all I wanted, and I got it. So, yeah, that's that.
Yeah, no, I get that for sure. Yeah, I mean, the fact that, Hogwarts itself was so large, and that, we got to explore it whatever time of the day we wanted, got to go wherever we wanted. I think it was just exciting because this game had been announced, quite a while ago, and just, kept being oh, delayed, but then actually playing it and being this game is finally real, and how much stuff they put into the game that you're able to do. I know there's some things that, I would say the game's not perfect, but is any game ever really perfect? But this is a darn wonderful experience to design your own character, play as a student at Hogwarts, and just, like you said, go crazy.
I mean, even as a AAA title goes, the game was, there weren't that many bugs or anything, I don't think. At least I didn't experience anything. There was nothing game crashing or anything like that on my end, playing on the PS5, so yeah.
Yeah, well, there is a big bug that I am very upset about, but I'm hoping they're going to release an update soon.
What's that?
So, I am one step away from having a platinum in this game. The reason I do not have a platinum is because there is a bug on one of the, one of the items that you were supposed to find in, within Hogwarts.
Uh-huh.
And it was one of the flying pages near, the outside, garden area. I had gotten that flying book page at the beginning of the game. It did not count it as a find in the bell tower area of Hogwarts.
Oh,
so it's showing I am missing one item.
Oh my god.
And so I can't get I collected everything else in the game. I'm missing the that final trophy to then unlock the platinum. So I was so distraught. I spent hours trying to find what I was missing, and then I realized I'm not the only one with this problem. There are lots of other people who've complained about this bug. So Avalanche, please get this pushed out, especially before you release the games on the other consoles. No, this is upsetting.
Yeah, that's a wow.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, I even tried it as one of my other characters I had started as just to get the other trophies as the different houses. And I also found that page and added it to my book and everything, and it also didn't count it as well. And I'm okay, so
maybe I'm having that problem too. I just haven't noticed it yet. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that's very possible. Also, I think there's another glitch that a lot of people were having problems with. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but luckily I didn't have an issue. But I think they fixed it because there was a fix that came out a week or so after the game released, and I think it fixed one of the creature quests. But
was it the one with Cookie? Was it Cookie the moon calf? Is that its name? Maybe that's not its name.
Something like that. Yeah, I think it was, the moon calf or something like that. Yeah, it was.
They couldn't, the moon calf wouldn't, leave the crate so you could capture him or something like that. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was causing a lot of people to not be able to finish the quest. I had my fingers crossed when I did that one, and it worked, and I was like, oh, thank God.
It paid off. Yeah. But I'm missing one thing to make it a perfect collection of collecting every single item in the game. So I hope they get that together and release a patch. Also, that patch should personally include a photo mode. We still haven't gotten that yet.
For real.
So.
Why doesn't this game have a built-in photo mode?
Because, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. There's so many cool things in this game to just take pictures of. So many random, like, occurrences that appear. Like, I know that you uploaded a video for me to, like, look at for us to use for, like, socials. And it's one where, like, you came across a suit of armor, and the one, like, beats the other suit of armor to pieces.
Yeah.
And I had never noticed that before, and I was like, where is that? And then I stumbled across it as well, but it's just so strange. And then, oh my gosh, there's just, like, the giant squid randomly comes out of the lake.
I still have not seen the giant squid.
I've seen it twice.
I've seen the dragon twice. I got to fly alongside the dragon for a hot second. He's quite fast.
Nice.
So, but I did get to catch the dragon once or twice, but I haven't seen the squid yet. I guess I'll just have to start a Slytherin character.
Guess so. Make your Slytherin like the purest, like, holiest student ever. Just can do no wrong. Just like.
Oh, she was gonna be a cold stone bitch. Like, I've already got her planned out.
No, that's my Gryffindor.
I'm going
my
deep
Gryffindor.
into that. Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, no, those Gryffindors are sketchy. They can be jerks, and they'll turn to the dark side, that's for sure.
Into the Gryffindor propaganda.
Yes.
Maybe I'll flip-flop.
Hey,
We already played my Hufflepuff, so, and I did all the nice things.
Yeah.
So, but no, I can make my Slytherin, like, the nicest person on earth.
Yes. So yeah, is that something that you're gonna do? Are you gonna play through the whole game as a different character?
Maybe not anytime soon necessarily, but no, I'd like to play through as every house. So eventually, or maybe like I kind of want to get it on the Switch too when it comes out. Mostly just to see like how it runs.
Yeah.
Like just like see what can you do with the Switch. I kind of want to see. I don't really want to pay like $70-$90 for it again. So I might wait a little bit for a sale or something. But yeah.
Yeah, should be interesting. Yeah, and I think that's still supposed to come out in July or for the Switch.
Yeah, July I think is correct.
Because I know on the PS4 and Xbox One that the date was pushed back. Because I think it was actually supposed to come out like around this time, but now it's coming out I think in May, if I recall. So looks like they're still working out some bugs with that.
I mean, if they need to do it, then they got to do it. So
fingers crossed that people will be able to enjoy it on those systems. So
for real.
Yeah, I know. I feel like there's always so much to say about this game. I mean, this game is massive. You can spend hours just wandering around, coming across chance encounters with enemies, following the tons of side quests, tons of those Merlin trials. Man, there was a lot of them.
Oh my god, I'm so glad that like the book, like to finish the book, like I'm so grateful they weren't like go finish all the stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, no, just so many of them, not everything. I'm so grateful because I saw all the Merlin trials on the map and I'm just like, I don't want to do that right now. I'm not here for that. Someday, but not right now. Yeah.
No, when I got to the part of the game, I had already completed everything. So when I had the dialogue with her, with Professor Weasley, she was like, you still have stuff left to do. Why don't you finish this?
You're like,
and I'm
excuse me?
I'm like, excuse me, I have 100% besides the one glitched item that doesn't count for this part, so...
That's what she was talking about, Chelsea.
Don't tell me to try harder. I'm my Ravenclaw self, and...
It's not very Ravenclaw of you.
Yeah, no. So I was a little bummed by that. I was like, oh, so the dialogue's the same no matter if you complete it before you talk to her or what. So that was a little interesting.
But you were able to just like walk straight into the Great Hall and end the game?
Yeah.
There you go. Mm-hmm. I did not. I got to that point and see, I was kind of under the impression that we would actually have to like take the owls in some way. So I was like, oh, I'm not like, no. And like how far you are in your book, like, you know, and I was just like, I'm not ready. I'm going to go 100% and absolutely not. And then like the final cutscene is like a minute long. And there's like 10 seconds where like you take the owls and then move on with your life. And I was like, that's a bummer. That's not what I thought was going to happen there.
That was so odd to me because, I fully expected us to do like little mini games or something. And then like we would get a rating at the end about like how well we did in each subject or something, little like timed things. But yeah, I was very surprised by that. I was like, oh. So I was like, okay, well, anyway, I guess I'm done.
Like, why did I just go finish the field guide then? Why was that so important then if we're not going to actually take a test? I was legit ready for an actual test.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how well did you pay attention in the game kind of thing?
Well, I was kind of shocked because in the mobile game, which is also a Portkey Games game, that Hogwarts Mystery, you take your test and you have to like answer a ton of trivia about each subject, and you do get a grade at the end of all of it for like your OWL. So I was expecting some sort of little mini game or something. I was like, you can do it on a mobile game. Why can't we do it in this fully immersive game? But
I mean, the Sorting Hat quiz is like, what, 2 questions long?
yeah.
So.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, they had a lot in this game. I do feel like, though, because like almost in that instance, I almost thought there were parts of the game that they wanted to add, but they like ran out of time or just wanted to get the game out faster to people, and so they didn't include it. So
Probably, yeah.
And so that was one of the things. I was like, oh, I think I'll wait. Maybe we'll get to the end a little bit later once we can, because I was like, oh, I was going to say something about the end, like the big choices at the end, but no, we can.
Oh, yeah. We can talk about that later.
Yes, we'll talk about that later.
We'll do all the story stuff later.
Yes, definitely.
So, I know this. A lot of people played this game for this one reason only. Did you use any of the unforgivable curses?
No, I didn't.
Same.
Yeah, I didn't even go into the Dark Arts Arena at all. I was meaning to check it out, but I never got around to it. Now, I did learn the first 2, because I'm just like, I'm a Ravenclaw, I want to know things, but I didn't use them on anybody.
Oh,
or
okay.
Anything, so.
Yeah. I didn't even learn them. Did not. I feel like a Hufflepuff, that's just not part of who we are.
Yeah,
so
like, you don't need that.
Don't give me a gun, I don't want it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, don't even need it.
No, I mean, hot take, some of those other spells you learn, I'm like, that's kind of worse than the unforgivable curses.
Are brutal?
Oh my gosh, that ancient magic.
Like, you're just like exploding people.
Uh-huh.
Like, oh my god.
Yeah. What, you like turn people into barrels and throw them and like explode at other people? Just, blow up people left and right. I still love, the one, I mean, it's just the spiders where you just shrink the spider down and you just stomp on it.
That was cathartic.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
Well, turning the people into chicken. I guess that's your dinner later. I don't know, but that maybe makes you a cannibal, so that's sketchy. So
just like the going through the game, like once you kind of like are able to go out and do whatever you want, like an hour into that kind of gameplay, I was like, my character's a sociopath.
Yes.
Like, he's murdering people left and right, and it's happy Harry Potter time.
Yes. I mean, honestly, this game is so dark. Like, it's a lot of fun, and there's some brighter moments to it, but, like, a lot of, like, the quests are super dark. The main story is kind of dark. Like, your character being a sociopath, like, and just happy-go-lucky about it. I mean, do they really have another personality? Because it's more of just, let me help you, or I had to kill them. They were just causing problems, There
was only... You can only go 2 ways, and it's quite the opposite ends of the spectrum on that. Which, I mean, for me, it was all part of the charm. Because I would go, like, murder at, like, 10 camps of bandits. And then they'd get back, and they were like, oh, like you're alive. Are you doing okay? And I'm just like, yeah, I'm great. Yeah. Why? Like, no PTSD here.
Did you ever really listen to what your character says when, like, they destroy, like, a bandit camp or something like that? About, like, your blood is on Ranrock's hands.
That one specific, I was like, bro, calm down.
Yeah.
Like, chill. We're not. It's not that serious.
Whoa.
This is Harry Potter, okay? This is not Hunger Games. This is Harry Potter.
And, like, you're just blaming it all on one person, justifying everything and what everybody's actions,
I'm gonna go murder a whole countryside of people, and it's all this one person's fault. Yes. That's awfully villainy of you, sir.
Yes, for real. Oh my gosh. No, our character is cray, but a lot of fun. Well, I mean, even more, I still laugh. I think we discussed it in our previous episode about Hogwarts Legacy about how, there's all these poachers out there and everything, and they're bad. And once you defeat them, then you can let those creatures go. But hey, these poor creatures minding their own business somewhere? Oh, let's just capture them and
Yeah.
add them to our
All
little.
mine. All mine.
Yeah.
And to make matters worse, and I'm just gonna go sell them, so it's fine.
Yes. And breed them and then sell them too. Like,
Oh
oh
my
my
God.
gosh. Who's a poacher now?
And some of these, like some of the quests where you're like, the person's like, "Oh, my moon calf, go save my moon calf," and then you save like the specific, unique moon calf, and then you have an option to be like, "No, I think this moon calf will be safer with me,"
Or
and then they
I
hate you.
think you need to give me money. Yeah. Yeah.
or that too. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm gonna take your money, and I'm gonna take your moon calf. So, see ya.
Oh my gosh. Now, I never did that. I always gave them back.
Same. There's a couple quests
Yeah.
where they like just flat out give them to you. So I have those because there wasn't an option to give them back. But yeah, if there was ever an option to give them back, I was like, I don't like. No, my rooms are full. I don't want your animal. Thank you so much.
Yeah. No, and I was like, they wanted it. Like, I can apparently find my own animals and capture them myself. You can have your particular one.
Right?
But, oh my gosh. I did read about what happens if you, if you refuse to give them back and stuff, and how some of those merchants, refuse to sell it to you.
Oh, really? Wow.
And I was like, oh, that's a little fun and everything. But no, I feel too good. I feel too bad if I do all these jerkish things, apparently. But, destroying, bandit camps and everything, no big deal.
Yep, all those people. It's fine. Whatever, man.
Yeah. Their blood's on Ranrock's hands. It's fine.
He says it. Must be true.
Yep, for real. Oh my gosh. So yeah, besides our character being a sociopath. I mean, also, we have no backstory for our character.
Correct, yes.
So, but I think I read there was an interview saying, there's a reason for that. It's more of, adding to, creating your own story. You can come up with your
Yeah.
own idea, what your own backstory is and everything.
Headcanon is a thing, so.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And also, why you can't choose, if you're pureblood or muggle-born or, whatever. I guess being a pureblood would be kind of weird in the context of, oh, I'm suddenly all magical. I guess I'll just go start learning about magic. So let's just assume we're probably muggle-born. That's probably a safe assumption.
Yeah, I mean, could be some, mysterious love child that was left on the side of the road somewhere.
Oh, tragic.
Yeah. But yeah, probably not. Well, yeah, I feel because it's let's teach you all these spells that you've never even used before, never even heard about anything, so.
We're going to master them, too.
Yeah. Oh, heck yes, we're going to
Freaking
master the heck
geniuses
out of them
over
and
here.
also be, just one try and I got it. Oh, man. It's a lot of fun, though. Now, okay, more of those spells. I know we kind of talked about some of the spells last time.
Yes.
Were there any spells that you ended up really getting attached to towards the end of the game, or ones that you felt you ended up using more than others?
Yes, I found a couple combos that I really liked. On one hotbar, I would use Accio to pull them towards me, and then Descendo to slam them into the ground, because you get the extra damage whenever they're in the air. And then I would freeze them when they're right next to me, and then I would use Incendio to blast them back and on fire, and then they take extra damage when they're frozen. So there's a couple things like that I would use a lot, and they were one-hit KOs for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But there was by the time I learned Bombarda, I think I used it twice, specifically when I had to, because I was so set in the spells I was already using, I didn't feel the need, I guess, to add more to my armory as it is. But there were a few times where I would just kind of set Bombarda and just go flying around the countryside and blast people.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that is one heck of a powerful, yeah. No, those 4 spells that you mentioned, I mean, you're the one who told me about them, and I definitely set one of mine to all of those, and those are very useful.
Yeah, it's handy as heck, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I did use a lot of Confringo. I really like that
Oh,
spell. It
well,
just
like,
seemed really useful.
well, when you first learned it, like, you get rid of Incendio, because you're like, I don't, like, because Incendio is, like, a short-range spell, because you're like, I don't need that crap. I have Confringo. I can
Yeah.
just blow people up from a distance, from a nice, safe distance. It's fine.
Yes, yes, exactly.
So there's that.
Nothing scary about that, yeah.
But there's some spells I didn't really use a whole lot. Like, I didn't really use Flipendo. I didn't really use Arresto
Only when
Momentum.
you had to.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
there's like the challenges and stuff where you need to, but and then Repulso. I didn't really use Repulso either because I was like, no, I don't want you to go flying. I want you to stay right here, so I can
That's fair, yeah.
Incendio you.
Gosh, yeah. Yeah, I only used a lot of those, like, on very specific things if there were, like, things in the environment I had to deal with or, like, whatnot. Now, there was one spell I came across towards the end of the game, like, in my menu, and I was like, what the heck is this spell? I don't even remember learning this spell. It was, like, the one where you get to, like, transfigure objects.
I think I used that like twice again. Like by the time I had it, I was just like, I don't need it.
Yeah. I was like, what is this? And I don't know if you tried it just like in fighting or also like in random objects. Like there's certain like, crates and stuff you come across that you can levitate. You can transfigure those into random things. Like one of them transfigured them to a pumpkin and I was like, I don't need a pumpkin. I need that back. But that was so random. But it was just one of those spells that I was like, oh, I didn't know I had this. Oops. But I mean, I also, like I said, didn't use the unforgivable curses, but I had learned 2 of them. They just sat there in my spell queue.
I hear that. I went into the dark arts, one of the dark arts ballerinas once, like on accident, not knowing that's what it was. And they force you to have them. Like they'll replace your hotbar with the 3 unforgivable curses, and then start throwing like enemies at you. And I was like panicking. I was like, okay, I guess I'm using these right now. But like you don't know how to use them because So I did a terrible job at that until like Avada Kedavra came up, like till its cooldown was done. And then I was just murdering people. But you leave and then they're gone, and I was like, oh, thank God for that.
Yeah.
'Cause I wasn't here for
wash
that.
my hands clean of that. It's what happens there stays there.
Yep.
Oh man. I mean, there's a good variety of spells. Now, yeah, there's definitely some that you can definitely pick up as like favorites and ones that you latch on to, but there's something for everybody's playstyle, really. So that's pretty cool.
And I know, like, there's a lot of talk online. There was like, why is there only like however many spells? Why aren't there like 50? Or, it's like because that's a lot. Like, if there's a sequel, will they probably at least double the amount of spells? Yeah, because you have to add new like gameplay elements in. But I feel the amount of spells that they had in this game was just fine.
Yeah.
Just fine.
No, definitely plenty of variety. Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? Use them all at once in a fight? Like, how the heck are you going to do that? No.
No, I hope in the next one we get some of the more like sillier hexes, like the Bat Bogey Curse, or the one like the Tickling Charm, like little silly things that we can just kind of cast on people like for fun.
Yeah, just like as you're walking around.
Yeah, I hope we get some like more like nonchalant spells. That would be fun. Or even like we didn't get Aguamenti. Which I don't know why, but Aguamenti is one of my favorite Harry Potter spells. Mostly because I just like the water element. So not having a water spell, I was kind of like, I get it, it's fine. But I kind of hope we get that next time.
Yeah, that was like the one, like, I felt like, element we didn't get a whole lot of. We can like freeze people, but there wasn't anything with water, so that would definitely be a cool one to see in the future.
So what all like mounts did you use? How did you end up getting around the map most of the time?
I probably almost like majority of my time honestly used the broom. I thought that was the fastest. Yeah, it's easier to navigate. So
if I knew I was gonna go for like a longer ride and I didn't feel like fast traveling, I'd pull out like the Thestral, because the Thestral's really cool to fly around on, I think, and they all like even like all the mounts they have different like feels to them. They have different speeds. They have different controllability. Things like that, like how fast you can ascend or descend. They all do different things, which I appreciate. I'm glad it wasn't just the same thing, just riding different things, And I got used to riding on my Thestral, but no, the broom is, it's just so easy.
Yeah.
Just boom, boom, bang, up in the air we go.
I think that was one thing I really, really liked about this game, is that like pretty much nearly like no matter where you were, you could just like have your mount there. Like if you were falling off a cliff, you just immediately have your mount at the ready. So that was really cool.
Oh, and thank God for that too.
Yeah.
Because I like accidentally dove off cliffs so many times.
Oh no.
And I was like, it's fine, just get on the broom. It's okay. Not that
Yeah.
like fall damage was a thing, but not really.
Yeah.
It was just like
Some
the
of them
smallest
just straight up died.
I don't think I ever dropped anything major like that. But I did drop some distances. But I was like, if I was a person, I would be dead. Like, like that. But like, I
you're a
didn't ever
wizard.
see my health drop at all, and I was just like, okay, whatever. Cool.
Yeah, I also liked it because there were some parts where you had to like swim to certain areas or like to like get one of the like little like whirlpool things to like enter a cavern or whatever.
Yes.
You could just like fly out there and just like drop down into the water, and so
Yeah,
that was
and then-
way
and then
faster than
just
swimming.
Get right out.
Yes, and
Hop
just
on
get right
your
on the
mount and
broom
just
and
go.
fly out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, amazing. Love that feature.
If they make a sequel, is there like another mount that you'd like to see us fly on? It's toughy. We got all the stuff that like you would normally fly on, I suppose.
Yeah. I don't know, because I'm like, yeah, there's like all the fast travel points that use all like the Flu Powder Network. And I was like, I don't know. Do we want like more like carriage rides or something? Something more like slow, drawn out with a companion, have a whole conversation and like does like inside the carriage or like outside while traveling. I don't know. I don't really know of too many other beasts that would be like, that seems safe to ride.
Yeah, that's a tough question. I can't even answer it myself.
Yeah. But I think they picked a fun variety and, you know, well, since this is our like major spoiler episode, so we can kind of go into like, yes, you can see a Thestral, and if you play the very beginning of the game,
You know why?
yes,
Like you
which
start
is a
that game.
crazy scene.
I know, you start that game and like they're flying you to Hogwarts and they're talking about story stuff and then all of a sudden a dragon comes out of nowhere and like eats half of the carriage. And the guy
With a
like,
person
with
in
a
it.
person in it, and the ministry guy, that poor man, dead immediately.
Oh my gosh.
And like, and you and the professor turn around in the carriage to like make sure that the you know you're still flying, and like the Thestrals
Yeah.
just appear, and you're just immediately like, oh shit, this is happening, and then the dragon comes back for seconds, and then the carriage is gone, and you are dropping out of the sky.
Yeah, and for real. And that was like one of those scenes too, like if you like, you know, for people who like are very much aware of like the Harry Potter universe and like what it means to see a Thestral, it was like, no, that ministry official dude is straight up dead. He's not coming back later. He's not going to be a twist villain because you couldn't see them before and now you can see them.
Yep.
And oh dang.
But you know, there are so many things in the game that like that, where they're just like, boom, here's the Thestrals, and they don't explain that. You know, there were so many things in the game that the developers are like, we know you all, lots of people who are going to play this game have a very deep understanding of wizarding lore. We're not going to sugarcoat things for you. We're not going to hold your hand. You either understand
That's true.
or, at the time, or if you don't, go back and read like some of your field journal pages later, and that'll cover that. And anytime any kind of game or a movie or something does that, I appreciate that. I'm like, thank you for not dumbing that down, because now we can move on. We can skip right through it, the details, and move on to the more important things. I like that.
Yeah, but it's also really good though to have those field pages and everything for those
I
who
love
may
them.
not
I
know
love them
those
so
particular
much.
things. Yeah.
Like, do
They're
I need
so
to know
rich
about
with
Bertie Bott's
information.
beans? No, probably not. But am I going to read it because I love
you
it?
do.
Yes, I will.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh. There's so many things and so many strange items. Oh, that reminds me of like the vivarium and like all the items you can collect to decorate it.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
you can play The Sims in this game. You can have a whole decorate your house.
They put so much thought, like, just into the vivariums. Like, did we need to be able to decorate the vivariums? No. Because how often are you in there? Probably not much. But can you go all out and turn those spaces, those freaking big spaces, mind you, into, like, ridiculous works of art? Yeah. And it's amazing. The things that I've seen on, like, TikTok and YouTube, of people, like, showing off their vivariums, not even their room of requirements, the vivariums.
Oh my gosh.
Like, blow my mind. Like, I'm not going to do that, but I'm really glad that you did. Now I can see it.
Those areas were just so beautiful, too. Like, oh my gosh.
They didn't have
like,
to do that.
Nope, and I need that photo mode. But yeah, you're right that they're so big too. Like, because did you find some like the chest and stuff in the vivariums?
Yes. Yeah, like when I realized there were chests and like items to collect just resources, I was like, holy hell! I ran around all those spaces immediately. I was like, what am I missing?
Yeah.
What have I been running past?
I know, incredible. So many little details, and it just reminds me of so many hidden features in the game. Now, there were definitely things I had to look up, like, online, because I never would have figured out how to do that. How there's so many hidden rooms in the castle. How if you freeze a certain fireplace, you can go through it.
I did that on accident. I was like, I've played enough, like, Zelda and Final Fantasy. Can I freeze this? Freeze, gone, and, like, room behind. And I was like, okay.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
cool.
yes. There's also like a tapestry on a wall, like as you're walking down the stairs, and that you can just go right through. And then it has a huge like story within the room about the werewolves and about the lady who's a werewolf or something like that. Like that is just crazy. Like incredible detail, incredibly fun, like crazy hidden secrets. Things like you might have to look up online, things that you can just randomly discover. There's a lot to this.
See, and it's just and like that's in Hogwarts, and that's everywhere else too.
Mm-hmm.
And like when you compare the map of Hogwarts to the map of like the outside world, like Jesus, there's so much space and so much stuff to do. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Well, I feel like the map of the castle is kind of like it's not even completely accurate because it's just everything stacked on top of each other too. Like when you just see the castle, like there's so many rooms, so many floors, like it's incredible. But you're right too, like it's just just a small portion of that map that just is massive. That you can, it would probably take you, I don't even know how long. I'm sure somebody's done it to see if you literally had your character walk all the way across the map, how long that would take. It would take a long time.
Oh my god. I don't want to think about that.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Nope, thanks for fast travel points and your broom flight, but no, it's incredible. And that you have all those little hamlets, they all have also your character being psycho because you can just
break into
people's houses,
steal their stuff. It's fine, nobody cares,
no big deal,
nobody chastises you, they're fine.
I was a little shocked. I was waiting for a little bit of like Elder Scrolls type thing of being like, they see you breaking in, like you're breaking in the middle of the night where they're clearly awake and they have their fire on and they're staring right at you, but no.
Nope, not at all.
Nope, no consequences in this game
It's fine.
Whatsoever.
It's fine. Although, like, people wanted there to be, like, a stealth system at night, like, within the castle, I get why, because school rules, I get it. But that would also, like, impede your playthrough a lot too, because I mean you can change from day to night anytime you want to. So I guess like, I don't want to do sneaky stuff, I'll just hit the menu and I'll go change to the next day or whatever. But like you're running around trying to work on stuff and you're 10 miles away from your common room, and then look, there's the sun going down and I'm in trouble. It's like I don't know, like I think they were going to put it in, and then I think they changed it. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it would have been a lot, but I mean, we did get like at least 2 moments like that in the castle
like
where
they
you're
give
sneaking around. And
they give you moments and quests and stuff where you have to be sneaky. So, and I think that's fine for now.
I was a little disappointed though, because the one part where you meet with the caretaker and you sneak into like the teacher's area or whatever, like their rooms are, and then once you're done with that, like, and you have to sneak around, you can just go back in and just waltz in there like, hello everyone.
Yeah, right. Like, it's fine, it's the teacher's quarters, I can just waltz in whenever I want. It's okay.
Yeah.
Bedrooms, let's go.
That part was a little yeah.
Although it was really cool to see that
their
part
secret
of Hogwarts,
letters
though. Yes, also that. I loved seeing the bed quarters of all the professors. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Harry would have never, because Harry wasn't a psychopath.
Yes, true. For real. But yeah, no, like, and how there's so many little items depending on like, who the professor is and their personality. And, like we said, there's a lot of lore in the game in a sense of like learning about all the different things if you weren't familiar from reading the Harry Potter books, or different things about different characters they gave history to. But then you also get like backstories for all the professors, because there's times where you can go back and you can chat up with them and find out like, who are you? Why are you here? Why do you like Quidditch or whatever? And stuff like that, and then you could find letters within their dwellings.
And those letters are like cool letters. They're not just extra nonsense. They're like, they're lore. They're there. They're there to explain the characters and like relationships between existing characters. Like, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, there was a lot of really cool thought put into those.
Did you spend a lot of time with like the potion and the plants? Like, did you use those a ton?
I wouldn't say a ton. Like, I didn't use them a lot at the beginning, and then kind of towards the middle I started experimenting with some of them, but like those plants are killer. Like,
my appreciation skyrocketed to those plants. Because wow, they put out some damage. Holy crap. But yeah, like you, I didn't really use the potions at the beginning. Because I didn't know that they were going to be so easy to make, I guess. Like in quantities, like you're gonna have enough crafting stuff. They take a minute or less to make. And it's all auto. You don't have to like play a mini game or anything to do it.
Yeah.
And then by the time I was like, my inventory is maxed on these potions, I was just kind of like, oh, like I don't really need to use them. Like I'm playing the game just fine. There were times when I would use like the damage potion, like fighting a troll. I'm like, I don't want to deal with this right now. So I would strengthen up and stuff like that. But they were never like, they were useful, but they were never required.
Yeah, I feel like Wiggenweld was my most commonly used potion.
For sure,
It was definitely one that worked, especially in the battle arenas. It was so useful to have them like maxed out at the time. Yeah, but I think it's definitely a fun element because it allows for different gameplay varieties for those who just love to like all that straight up combat spells, but then you can also be a little strategic with your plants and all your potions that do different things. Although I think it's a Thunder Brew potion. That potion was pretty sweet.
That was awesome. I used it on accident when I was fighting a whole herd of wolves. And then, like, you get the thundercloud around you, and I was like, what is happening? And they would just, like, attack you, and they would just get, like, struck by lightning. Like, you didn't have to do anything. They would just get close, struck by lightning, dead. And I was like, oh, dang. Okay. Like, and it's, like, brutal, too. It's not like zip-zap. It's like, ba-boom. And then they go flying.
Further adds to this psychopath character.
For real. Yeah. Like, where was that in the Harry Potter books? Jesus.
I know. I was like, what? Never heard of this one. Crazy. Well, speaking of potions then, did you ever use the luck potion?
You know what? I did not.
Limited items for PlayStation. Yeah.
I didn't. And, again, I have a full inventory of them. But it was one of those things where it was like, because they give you the recipe, like, when you start. And I don't think I was ever really, like, short on the ingredients. I don't really remember. But I was always, like... Because all that potion does is show the big chests, right? Or every chest. I think it's the big chests.
I honestly don't know what it showed. I used it twice, and I couldn't figure out... It did not help me in life. I was like... I don't know what I'm looking for.
It shows you treasure chests on your mini-map. And maybe also your big map. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I
think it is just the mini.
Yeah. I never used it at all. Like, never once. Because if you could just use Revelio and go, oh, there's a chest over here, let me go get it. I never had an issue finding them. Now, when I'm going back through...
that was my most used spell.
Oh, God.
That was my most...
Did you see the stats that they posted on Twitter? Like, the global stats of how many times Revelio had been used?
Oh, my gosh. And I'm like, yeah, I take like 5 steps, I use it,
Absolutely.
Go this way, use it.
It was like tens of billions. Or maybe hundreds of billions of times. I can't remember. But
by now, oh my gosh.
I just the fact that they're posting the little data spurts of how many times players in the world have done this, and I was like, why do we need to know this? Like, I'm not complaining at all.
Because we could freak out about
amazing.
This. Yeah.
Like, oh, you know what I'm gonna do today? I'm gonna go find out how many times cows have been tipped in this game.
I did that for the trophy.
You know what? I keep flying past cows forgetting that there's a trophy for that. And I'll be on the other side of the map and I'll be like, oh, damn it. I just saw a cow like 5 minutes ago.
Oops. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll get there eventually. It's fine.
Yes, because that's something that wizards love to do during the late 1800s. Flip cows.
Yep, absolutely.
With Flipendo.
Why not? So talking about like the Felix Felicis potion, you did the haunted Hogsmeade quest.
Yes.
What did you think of that?
Oh man. They put a lot of work into that. The whole like creepy atmosphere, the story behind it, like well done. Well done, people. Like that was crazy. That was creepy also. I think it also makes it creepier because when I play any of my systems, I have my headphones plugged in, and I think it's just like me only hearing it, just being in that like almost enclosed space, and it's just like it was so creepy because in that quest, mannequins. Okay, because mannequins are like already straight up like creepy.
I freaking hate them.
OMG. Yeah.
I'd seen enough in
and then like
trailers and stuff to know what the mannequins were generally going to do. But then they started doing it, and I'm just like, get out. No. Leave me alone.
Yeah. And I was like, nope, the lights went out. Nope. Oh no, they just appeared out of nowhere. They're inching closer to me. Nope. And then attack. Yeah. No. So it was crazy, interesting story. I mean, what did you think about it?
I mean, it was really interesting. Like what I am glad about is that you got to go fight that witch at the end for putting you through that. They were like,
heck yes.
We're gonna go,
Justice
like, you get out. Yeah, you get out, and they're like, oh, let's go talk to her, because why would that poor old lady, like, why would she do that knowing that this was the outcome?
She's more of a psychopath than our characters.
You get over there, and she's like, what? And she's just like, we're gonna freaking fight in the street. And I was like, okay, let's do it. Like, I'm gonna freaking kill you. Like, no, that's not okay. That's not, and then like the officer shows up to help you, and that lady flat out was just like, blast the officer, get out of my way.
Yeah,
like, no, this 15-year-old, I'm gonna murder them in the street.
Yeah,
like, whoa. And that poor house elf, poor Penny.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I assume you freed her.
Oh yes, okay, I did.
Good.
I love that we had the opportunity to do that.
Yeah,
so.
Not that it changes anything, because she's gonna stay and work anyway. But like,
yeah.
that was
I feel
nice
good about
them.
it, but you know,
yeah.
I was
she
just
couldn't
like,
tell you about it. She couldn't warn you.
Oh gosh.
Poor Penny.
Yeah, that was a whole situation. Also, when like honestly, Penny is like a little bit creepy, especially like in the beginning.
Yes.
Like she is a creepy house elf, but she gets like kind of sweeter at the end once you know all that whole quest is done. But it's also hilarious, yeah. As a 15-year-old, whatever, you own a shop.
I mean, gameplay-wise, the only use for that place is to go and sell, like, your extra equipment, because you get a tiny bit more gold out of it. But, like, in the story, yeah, like, you buy the building, and it's a shop, and you're, like, selling your excess gear, more or less. And, like, Penny's selling it out of the shop, which, like, okay.
Yeah, and then you get to name your shop, but I guess you only get like 3 like pre-selected names or whatever.
I don't even remember what I chose.
Yeah, it was some name. It sounded less lame than the other ones, but I'm like, well, they were all
they're
odd,
all a little
so.
hokey. Yeah.
Yeah.
For real. Oh, okay. I got one for you.
Yes.
Who was your favorite companion? We got Poppy, we got Sebastian, and we got Natty.
Yeah. Which, do you consider there to be a Ravenclaw companion in this game?
I mean, he did go with you once.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, was there supposed to be more to do with him, I wonder? Because surely they wouldn't have, like, shorted a whole house on a companion, you know?
It's so weird.
Because he's not, like, not there. It's not like he's not around. You just have, like, one quest with him that leads into... Oh, no, there's a story quest you go with him on. And then you have his little side quest where you're, like, flying around the map doing the astrology stuff.
Yeah.
But his side quest is not very long. And it's not like a story side quest. There's zero story to it. He's like, oh, if you want to do this, just take my telescope and go have fun. Bye. And that's it. That's the end of that.
Yeah. It's like, thanks, okay, and now I have to do random things to, like, get a trophy in the game. But yeah, I thought that was so weird, because I'm just like, is like, your character supposed to be, like, canonically a Ravenclaw, then, to fill out the houses? Or, like, yeah, were they just like, who cares about Ravenclaw for some reason? I'm like,
surely not.
Hey.
It must have been like, oh, well, we have this, but we really didn't have time to finish it, so we're going to have to scrap it. It had to have been that.
I
Because,
hope so,
they've
because
been
yeah, I would.
promoting the other three for such a long time. Maybe they just knew in their timetables, like, we're not going to get him done.
Yeah.
Because the only other thing you do is take him on that story quest. Talk about sociopaths. You take him on that story quest to the mine, the goblin mine, and like traumatize that poor boy. He's like, we're not supposed to be here. And like, oh, it's fine. Just follow me. And then you get there,
I got
and you're like
this.
murdering all the goblins, and he's just like, oh my god, because this poor boy's just like a regular student.
Not a sociopath.
And then you get out of there with him, and he's just like, goodbye forever. And
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm like, I'm keeping your telescope. Okay. No. Yeah. Well, no, I think, yeah, you're right. Like, they had to have run out of time, because I also think even, like, our three main companions, like, they clearly focused a lot more on one particular one than the others. Like, not that we didn't get pretty decent stories for all of them. Like, I think in general, I liked them all. Like, I still think Natty is my favorite, but I did come to really like Poppy, especially like how her story rounds out and everything.
Did you like Poppy at the end?
Yeah,
I'm
I
glad.
did.
I really liked Poppy. She's such a sweetheart.
And Sebastian is just a well-rounded character. Like, I kind of liked in the beginning. I was a little disgusted with him at the end, and just kind of was like, I'm over it, because I knew where it was going. But
so,
like,
can you tell me how everything ended with your Sebastian? Like, what did you do with your Sebastian?
I turned him in.
You turned him in.
Yeah,
I did too. And I felt like absolute crap about it. But I was like, my Hufflepuff character would do that because he murders his uncle.
Yeah,
with a forbidden curse. And I mean, if you protect him and somebody finds out, then you go to Azkaban too.
Yeah. Well, it was taking it too far. Like,
100%.
Like, okay, clearly we've already joked about, all these other spells are like way worse and stuff, and like, but to just be like, no, I'm just straight up killing my uncle. Like, whoa, dude. Like, whoa. I know you had issues with him and stuff. Like, and I'm like,
like,
did he now? Did he use Crucio on you? Like, no.
Yeah, this man is an Auror. Like,
yeah.
Like, I understand them not getting along. I totally understood like the rocky relationship, because that's not hard to understand. I get it. But he was trying to stop Sebastian from delving into dark magic and ruining his life. And he came in to physically stop Sebastian from taking that final too far step.
Yeah.
And gets murdered for it.
Yeah.
Like, just in cold blood. Flat out cold blood. I don't know. My next playthrough, I'm going to do the opposite. Like, I'm going to be super supportive. Now, I say that. I was super supportive, like, in my choices with Sebastian. Like, I always told the other characters, like, just, give him time. Like, he's hurting. He's trying to figure things out, And then the end happened, and I was just like, I can't.
Yeah.
And I felt bad for myself. I was like, shame on me. Like, like it was a real thing. Like, I should have seen this coming. And poor Ominous.
Oh my gosh.
Like... Oh, poor Ominous.
Okay, I love Ominous. Like, at the beginning, I was a little bit like, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I want to be friends with you. Like, I want to go on quests. Like, I understand where you're coming from, all your pain, like, your terrible story. Like, you're a cool, interesting character. Like, I'm here with you.
Knowing he's like, he's some, like, an uncle, a great uncle. He's something of Voldemort. You know? So like, the second they named him, you're like, oh, I was like, no.
Ooh, snap. Like, ooh.
Like, this is not light storytelling. This is something significant. Yeah. And then, well, he's actually acting out against his dark family. He doesn't want to be that kind of person. And then here's Sebastian. Yeah. Pulling him under because can't get out of his brainstem long enough.
Yeah, no, Sebastian, for me, I was kind of like, yeah, like, give him time, like, let him figure this out on his own. And then, like, kind of halfway through, I was like, no, dude, like, I don't want to be here anymore. I was kind of like, at times, I'm like, I was wanting extra choices to be like, why am I helping you? Like, I literally said I was not helping you with this. Like, how am I here with you? Like, no.
The game forced me into it. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would not be here right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I would be with your uncle, like, and I'm like, no, like, also because of, like, how my character's actions were, like, I think my character was generally good and stuff, like, his uncle made a lot of really good points, like, I kind of wanted to be like, I wanted an in-between thing, they needed to come to an understanding about the issue, and, like, I also didn't really understand why our character couldn't save the sister, like...
Yeah, because we didn't cure her, did we?
No, we didn't. Also, I thought it was going to be, like, truly looped into the ancient magic, but it wasn't at the end, and that was weird to me.
I really thought that, we were going to do something. Especially when they realized... Yeah, especially when they realized it wasn't the goblins who cursed her.
Mm-hmm.
It was Rookwood all along.
Yeah.
I really thought that was going to be, like, the key to, like, fixing her.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. We're going to murder your uncle. It's fine.
Yeah. Bye. Like, we're not going to go back to Anne or anything. Who cares, I'm like, I kind of wanted to finish that.
Yeah, right. I'm hoping with the... Now, and people who took this route will know immediately, but if you take the route to, like, fully support Sebastian, I wonder if that changes at all. Yeah. Like, if you don't turn him in kind of thing, I wonder if that would be a thing. Because, like, if they make a second one, like, these 3 characters are probably still going to be in it. But, like, is Sebastian?
Mm. Yeah.
Or is Ominous going to take the role of that?
Mm.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting, especially when you have, like, vastly different things happen with the character and, like, having a sequel, like, being able to, like, follow those storylines and be able to create those completely separate storylines. So it'll really be interesting to see if there's a sequel, like, how they try to continue those trends. Now, I don't know if you want to know this, but I did find out what happens if you support him after killing his uncle.
Ooh, I want to find that out on my own.
Okay.
I want to do that myself.
Yeah, I read about it and I was kind of like...
Is it worse? Like, is it worse than what we experienced?
Well, let's just say so...
In the terms of WTF?
Yeah, a little bit. Well, the only thing I'll hint at is, you have to learn all 3 unforgivable curses or have the opportunity at some point. So if you pick one way, you get to learn, probably all of them. So, yeah. But, I don't know. Yeah, I didn't read too much about it, but I read some parts about it and I was like, huh. Because that seemed like the biggest, like, one of the bigger choices in the games that had the biggest consequence. Because, like, with the other companions, like, you continue their story, but there's no really, like, choice of doing anything, like, good or bad. You're just, like, there for the ride.
You just finish the story. Yeah, you're just there. Mm-hmm. But they were both really good. Like, Poppy's was kind of just, like, okay, until you start to, like, learn about Poppy as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, her grandma, and, like, why? Why are they so interested in magical beasts and saving them? It's very, like, do-goody until you find out more about Poppy, and then it's like, oh, that poor child.
Yeah.
Like, that's terrible. Wow, okay, cool.
Yeah, just adds more to traumatic children in this game. Like, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. It's fine. Anybody left untraumatized, our character will be there to murder somebody in front of them at some point, so it's fine.
But, no, I mean, well, the one thing about Natty to mention is, like, I wasn't expecting, like, some parts of her story to come up, and I was like, what? Like being in, like, an Animagus or whatever, and I was like, whoa.
That's cool. That was really cool, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And, like, her whole story and stuff, and there's certain parts where I was like, what just happened? Like, oh my gosh. Like, towards the end of her story, you're like, are you okay? Although I do want to joke about that because, okay, this game has no, like, dating or, like, any close-knit relationships, but at that end scene at the hospital wing, the way they're sitting, like, I don't know if it was, like, the way the characters are sitting so close together, and, like, I don't know if they're, like, holding hands or whatnot. I was like, there is something between Natty and the main character. Like, well, what are we doing here?
Natty likes the sociopathic types.
Yes.
Damn Gryffindors.
She'll be right by your side.
Oh God. It's fine. She can turn into a gazelle. Like, it's fine. Nobody will know it's her. Perfect getaway.
But I laughed at that. I was like, that's random. I was not expecting, like, I was like, okay, maybe I'm the only one reading it this way, but I was like, there's the romance we didn't fully get in the game, so.
Maybe in the next game we can do some dating sim stuff.
Maybe. It'll be next up on the Sociopath Bachelor. Yep.
They might as well.
Gosh.
Well, you can't date Sebastian because you sent him to Azkaban, so.
Yeah. Or did you? And then you get that opportunity.
Dun, dun, dun. Go break him out of Azkaban. Oh, wow.
Oh, my gosh. Don't.
Holy crap.
Yeah. That's going to be something.
Two 16-year-olds escaping from Azkaban. It's fine. Whatever, man. Totally
no big deal. Yeah.
Speaking of, I got to go to Azkaban and you didn't.
Oh. Well, I did.
For all 90 seconds of it. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, when I played as a Hufflepuff, I did get to go, but yeah, as a Ravenclaw, you don't get to go. You have a mysterious quest to fulfill for Ollivander. That's what that is for Ravenclaw.
Oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, everybody gets a little something extra there. At the, like, it's like at the same point of the game, right?
Yeah, the same point that all leads to. Like, it leads you
into whatever the story point is going into, or is it the map chamber?
Yeah, everything leads you to the map room. So like that's like the how you get there, because it's like Ollivander's like family heirloom, some like old wand they have like went missing, and then you find out like Jackdaw was the one that took it. Yeah,
not Jackdaw. Oh, I went there anyway. I did the Jackdaw stuff.
Yeah,
and, there was no wand involved, of course, but
no, yeah, his stuff is slightly different depending on the house. So all those stories are interesting, because I did play that part because you have to get a trophy to get to the map room with all the characters. So it's interesting how those parts of the story change. But
well, I look forward to doing that.
Yeah, there's some fun things, and definitely some fun things for like those who are like really into the books of being like, oh my gosh, finally got to see this thing or something, or that's cool to see these characters.
And all the people who were throwing fits about how Hufflepuff of all people gets to go to Azkaban. It's literally like a 90-second cutscene, and then you walk down a hallway, and that's all. Like,
insane, yes.
Like, if people are like, we want DLC where we get to go to Azkaban, like, holy hell, what are you going to do in Azkaban?
Yeah, I'm like, why do you want to go? Like,
what?
Just to see it?
Like, you're gonna fight the Dementors? You're gonna go to the Beehive and shake up the Hive? Is that what you're gonna do? Like, there's nothing. Yeah. There's nothing in Azkaban. I got to talk to a crazy person once, and then she attacked the lady I came with, and that's it. That's all there is.
You don't even get to follow up with them after that part of the story. Cause, like...
Oh, you don't? No, for real. She's like, don't worry, I'm dying. Just go back to school. Bye.
Yeah.
I'll just go hang out with my brother. It's fine.
Yeah, and you're like, that chick is actually innocent. That's awkward.
Super innocent. And she's been there for forever.
Yeah. But no big deal. On to the map chamber, so...
Yeah, right. We got real story to deal with. And speaking of real story, what did you think of the story of the Keepers?
Honestly, I thought that was the weakest part of the game. The whole main story.
It's a story. It's not a bad story. Yeah, it's just that everything you get to do in the game just kind of outweighs it, I think.
Yeah. And
it's the vehicle in which you get to do the fun things. Like, that's kind of it. That's whatever.
Yeah, I do have some questions still about the story, because there's parts where I feel like they didn't fully explain things, and I'm not sure they're ever going to explain it.
Hit me. Let's see.
Okay.
Let's theory craft.
So when the scriptorium, where you're building up the like panels, and you find out it was supposed to be like Isadora's like portrait.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, she's not there. They're keeping her. I'm like, why? What happened? Like, why does she not have a portrait there if that was her portrait? Like, what happens? Like, I never fully stood like in the game, like in the lore, like how do you put yourself in a portrait type thing? Like, why does she not appear?
Right. My simple thing is that because of the terrible things she tried to do. Oh, you weren't finished.
Oh no! Oh no! Sorry, I said maybe her portrait wasn't finished. It was unfinished because
maybe
she died.
Yeah. Well, my thing was just like, they were just, because she turned into a villain at the end, and they were like, we don't want her like carrying on with this legacy, like helping the people who come later. That was my assumption. But they were like, fair. She is not on board with us, with what we're doing, so she doesn't get to sit at our table. We're going to be mean girls about it.
That's true. But I also thought it was like a secret room that they wouldn't have known about the portrait. But then she didn't appear, so... But
yeah, I thought that too. Like, oh, we're going to get to talk to Isadora. No, she's just going to be a jerk. It's fine.
Yeah. No, I was fully expecting... That was one part of the story I was a little bit surprised about. I was fully expecting her to come back in some form.
Oh, me too. I was like, when we met her, or like not right when you meet her, but like right when she starts to like mess with the ancient magic and she's like pulling out people's pain. I was
like, oh boy, boss battle.
I was like, final boss right here. Like, she's doing some messed up stuff. Like, this is... although the questions that they asked... You know, like, her whole thing was, like, why... People who wield magic, why can't we do this? Why don't we help people in this way? And I think that's a really good, like in the lore of the wizarding world, I think that's a really good question to ask about because we know, just with what we already know, we can do so much with magic. We can affect people's daily lives and bodies and such in such a variety of ways, but not their feelings.
Yeah.
Not the core of their feelings, you know. You got love potions, you got small little things that can like paint like, you know, put a different surface on top of it,
Can
but it
erase
doesn't
people's
last
memories.
forever.
Yeah.
You can erase people's memories, but you can't, like, people have to have the pain that they have. You can't take that away.
It was very interesting.
It was. But at the end, I feel like the end, though, is just kind of like, well, Ranrock comes to, like, take all of that, like, the ancient magic, like the pain magic that she was pulling out of people, and then you stop him, and life is good. Freaking cool boss battle, by the way. And then you just kind of like store it back underneath the castle where it was, and that's the end of that.
Yeah, which I was a little annoyed about that because I wanted that ending to have a third option because I didn't actually like either of the options because like it was clearly like this is the good option, this is the bad option, and I'm like I wanted the third door because I think the whole thing too is kind of like Isadora had some points. And, like, the keepers had some points, but they couldn't understand each other. And, like, the keepers are also kind of sketchy because they're just like, we're keeping our ancient magic to ourselves. We're only sharing it with those who are so-called worthy. And, like, but that, I really wanted to destroy it. I wanted the option to destroy the thing at the end because why do we need to protect it? Like, why?
If it's causing that many problems, why don't we just get rid of it?
Yeah, and I don't want that
they might have
power.
said, like, well, it's too big, it's too much, like, it has to go somewhere.
I'll
like
sacrifice myself.
It would just
destroy
destroy Hogwarts, like nuclear explosion underneath Hogwarts.
Yeah, I don't know. I was a little bit like, why is that not an option? Because that is the best option. Like, and also could be like, also kind of jokingly describe like the lore of like why do we hear about our character? Because they died because they sacrificed themselves to destroy this so that the rest of the world can continue on. But no,
like all the keeper stuff, we don't hear about it anymore. Like, I guess, like, in the world of Harry Potter, we don't need to, like...
That's fair.
Obviously, ancient magic was not a thing we needed to worry about in the story of Harry Potter.
Nope, way other pressing matters.
Which is great. Like, we don't need that. But, you know, so you could theorize that it's just still there, like, to this day in 2023, just kind of hanging out underneath the castle?
Or is it? Because what could happen if there's a potential sequel? Also, technically, because you're given two options, though. Like, you can either, like, protect it or whatever, or, like, take it. I mean, I didn't, like, take it or whatever, like, wield it. But that could lead to very different things on what that actually means, and if it would still be under the castle.
Mass Effect.
Yes, I know, that's what I've been thinking.
They have a chance here.
I mean... But that's also something that's very different about Mass Effect. Honestly, I felt like this game really didn't, like, it didn't really matter if you were good or bad because there was no morality system. Like, I mean, I guess it was also because I was generally good. Like, I felt like my choices didn't really matter, but I also didn't make that many. Yeah. But, well, I've also, like, yeah, there could be a sequel, but I've also been like, what is the story gonna be about? That's my thought. I was just like, what else is there to say?
I mean, when they were making the game in general, we were like, but what?
Yeah.
So if they want to make a sequel, which, I mean, after all the money it's made, surely, and all the assets they made for it,
it's gonna
surely they're not just
something.
going to walk away from it. But even just to do like a huge DLC drop, to just kind of like round things up. But I guess they could do that though, like for the story too. Like, well, you know, like you have this choice to do this or this at the end. Well, here's this extra DLC story. So whatever you chose to do, like, we're all going to meet here in the middle, and the second game will start from that point.
That makes sense. That's a possibility, yeah.
But at the moment, they haven't talked anything about DLC, like, at all.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, honestly, I think because they're really just trying to get the game out on the older consoles, and they don't want to get ahead of themselves.
That's totally fine, yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense. Also, I just want them to fix the bugs. Like I said at the beginning, just please fix bugs on the current systems that it's out. So
Chelsea wants her platinum.
Yes. I'm not the only one who wants their platinum. There's a ton of other people. Yeah.
Not at all. I won't even attempt it now until they fix that. I don't want to deal with that. I'll cry all the time.
No. That's what I do every single time I think about the game. I'm like, no trophy, no platinum yet, because of that one bug.
Everything you've done hasn't made any difference because of the one bug.
Yup, that's how I feel. But all in all, though, I mean, like I said, no game's perfect, but overall, a fantastic experience. Amazing game where you can finally be your own student at Hogwarts and do crazy things. I mean, what more could we have really asked for?
I got what I wanted out of the game, and I'm fine with that. So, if they make more, sure, let's keep going.
Yep.
I'll
play it. Yeah.
Yep.
We'll see where this crazy story goes. Well, are we about Hogwarts Legacy'd out?
I think so. I think we've said all we're going to say for the time being.
Yes, I think so. So, listeners, I think this will be, like I said, our final Hogwarts Legacy episode. Not our final episode ever, but let us know if you have gotten a chance to play this game or if you're going to play this game when it comes out on additional systems. We'd love to hear from you guys and your thoughts on this. And as always, please be sure to follow or subscribe wherever you listen to this podcast. Follow us on our social medias. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at PodDemastered. I'm sure we will be releasing more footage of our Hogwarts Legacy playthroughs in the coming days and weeks, so be sure to look out there and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on anything we post there. And, feel free to send us an email at demasteredpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you if you have suggestions on other things you want us to discuss in future episodes. Once again, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode, and we hope you tune in to the next one.